So dear respected Thay, dear respected brother and sister, dear friends, today is the 22nd of March 2020. Spring is coming now, and we are now in the Sat Dharma Bundarika Meditation Hall at the European Institute of Applied Buddhism, and the sun is shining beautifully. We have beautiful sunshine today. And since the beginning of March, we're supposed to have course for our friends, but due to the spread of the COVID-19 disease, we cannot have course, and everything around the world seems to practicing stopping. Airline is stopping, train is stopping, Super Bowl or football or game, restaurant, bar, everyone is practicing stopping. And in EIAB, things seem to stop too. Because we are connected deeply to each other. We interact. So how can we be different from the rest of the society? We are deeply affected too. And the brother and sister also feel a little bit lost with the program. We don't know what to do with our program, how to organize ourselves in the middle of this outbreak of the coronavirus. So we are very happy that today we have the Dharma talk for our monastic brother and sister, as well as our friends in Germany and around the world. So what can we as a practitioner do during this time to adapt ourselves to the situation? We have to learn to open our heart and to accept the fact, to accept the recommendation or the guideline from the scientific community, from the political community. Because for sure, these communities try to help us, try So all of us to go through this difficult time, and we have to cooperate. As you see, our brother and sister who sit today in the Dharma hall, Thầy Tuệ Giác and camera, the brother and sister, we arrange the Dharma hall so that each brother and sister will be at least 1 meter to 2 meters away from each other. And that's what we encourage in our community. I make a joke to the brother and sister the other day. I said, in the New Year ceremony, usually, if you are familiar with Burmese practice, we have a New Year Eve ceremony. And after the New Year Eve, I encourage the brother and sister to practice hugging meditation. The monastic sister will embrace or hug the monastic sisters, and the monastic brother will embrace the monastic brothers. And if they like, the brother can embrace some men, and the sister will embrace some lay woman. But after the ceremony, many times the brother and sister are shy, and none of them embrace each other, hugging meditation. They will just smile and gently hide themselves and slowly withdraw from the meditation hall. So I said that, well, you know that in the new year, we encourage you to practice hugging meditation, but now, 2 meters apart, you cannot do that. And we have to stick to the rule. Even that you want to practice hugging meditation now, you cannot do it. You have to wait until New Year and to wait for the outbreak to go away before you can practice hugging meditation. We cannot practice hugging meditation now. And for you at home, grandparents and grandchildren, you cannot hug each other. That is quite difficult. It's quite difficult because you used to embrace your grandchild, you used to embrace your granddaughter or your grandson. But now the government encourages you to keep a distance for 1.5 meters to 2 meters. It's difficult for the grandchild, and it's difficult for you as a grandparent. But we need to help each other, because the child might carry the virus without being affected by his health or her health. But you as a senior citizen, it can be dangerous. So we need to adapt to this situation. How do you practice? You can look at your child and you can return to your breathing in and out. You practice hugging meditation without being embraced. For example, right now, Thay Phap is sitting right there in the back of the hall, very far. He is at least, how would you say, how many meters from here to there? 15 meters? Allow 15 meters. This room is about 15 meters long, I think. So I and Thay Phap can practice hugging meditation. But I look at Thay Phap, I return to my in-breath and my out-breath, and I bow to Thay Phap. Recognize him clearly, seriously. You can do that with the member of your family. And you stand there and you follow your breathing. Look at Thay Phap clearly. He is a wonderful reality. You offer your present to him, and he offers the present to you. And then you can close your eye And you visualize that you embrace Thay Phap in your arm, for example. And you recognize his presence and offer your presence to him. My darling, I'm here for you. I'm truly here for you. During this difficult time, even though we have social distancing, but spiritually, we are close to each other. We are deeply connected. I'm really here for you. And then, after the first in-breath and out-breath, offering the present for each other, then we can practice the second in-breath and out-breath. We know that life is impermanent. Life is impermanent. And anything can happen to Thay Phap. Anything can happen to me. So I'm still alive now, and I treasure this moment. I'm really here for him. Truly offer my presence and recognizing his presence. And the third in-breath and out-breath, I promise to myself that I only offer him joy and happiness and not suffering during my interaction with him, during my living together with him. And then you can finish. And you can practice this, not only with your close family member, but you can practice with your brother and sister who live far away, in America, in Vietnam, in other places. You can truly practice Hakka meditation with someone who is very far away and truly offer the present to them. Because we have the hope that the outbreak will not affect us. We all have that hope. None of us want to have the disease. But the reality is that it can come anytime. And we have to learn to accept it. And it might happen very quickly. And our brother and sister who live very far away from us might be in the middle of an outbreak. And there's not enough medical support, and he or she has to pass away. That is a reality. That could be a reality. So please practice Hakka meditation in your meditation, in your mind, with your beloved one. Today, truly offer your presence and recognize the presence of the other person in your mind, in your meditation. And you see that the other person is a wonder of life. It is a reality. And anything can happen. And we have to face that. And we have to prepare ourselves for anything that can happen. Last Wednesday, we have a ceremony of supporting the deceased, the people who pass away. And our friends who pass away, the victim of the coronavirus, and blessing energy for the world, so that we can have a safe. We go through this disaster safely. We chant for the victim that day. And I remember that day, the infected case on Wednesday was around 200,000 cases. But now it is close to 300,000 cases only after a few days. Since Wednesday until now, and 100,000 cases. That is a reality, and that is something we have to awaken to. We hope for the best, but at the same time, we prepare for the worst. And that is the enlightened version. The enlightened version always hope for the best. We want to water the positive energy as much as possible. But at the same time, we prepare for the worst, ready to accept the worst and the reality. It's not pessimistic, it's not optimistic, but the capacity to face the reality and to deal with it in the appropriate way. Let's say right now we are not sick yet. Then we shouldn't allow the energy of depression, anxiety dominate us. We can enjoy the sunshine, we can be happy, we can smile. It doesn't mean that we ignore the danger of the outbreak. The danger of outbreak is there. We do everything that we can to protect ourselves. For example, everyone knows by now the practice of washing hands. And we wash hands as often as possible. And our scientists recommend that we wash the hand carefully, at least for 20 seconds to 40 seconds. And I try to practice with the song, Ich bin angekommen, ich bin zu Hause. So I put the soap on, and the Sangha can help me to sing this song while I wash my hand. Yes? Ich bin angekommen, ich bin zu Hause. Okay. Ich bin angekommen, ich bin zu Hause, im Hier und im Jetzt. Ich bin angekommen, ich bin zu Hause, im Hier und im Jetzt. Ich bin fest, ich bin frei, ich bin fest, ich bin frei. Im reinen Land verweile ich, im reinen Land verweile ich. Open the water. 40 seconds. Ich bin angekommen, ich bin zu Hause. Easy, huh? And while we do this, we learn to touch our finger. And we learn to enjoy that we still have a healthy finger. Yeah, we learn to feel it, because in my case, many times, my fingers are swollen. Many times. Because perhaps I have a hyperactive immune system, or I have arthritis. Could be anything. Nobody knows yet. Some doctors said this, some other doctors said that. So I don't know what is the real reason. So when you wash your finger, you enjoy that you don't have a swollen hand. And you feel very pleasant, happy that your hand is still in good condition. So you wash your hand carefully. So that is one practice that you can do. To sing the song, I have arrived, I am home. And make sure to wash the hand after you touch surface, go to the toilet, go to the public. Make sure we wash our hands carefully and do not put our hand to our mouth, our nose, our eyes. And when I give the Dharma talk like this for about an hour or so, I don't touch my hand on my face. So perhaps you can give some talk at home and then you don't put your hand on your face. You have something focused. Many times I work on my computer and automatically I put my hand on my face to scratch my face here and there. Then I realize that. So we need to practice a lot of mindfulness now, during this time. During this time, it's a great chance for us to practice mindfulness of the body in the body. Mindfulness of the body in the body. How do we practice mindfulness of the body in the body? Mindfulness of the body in the body is to learn to be aware of your act. Whatever you do, from the beginning to the end. If you have been to EIAB, our institute, then you know the practice of opening the door and closing the door. You learn to open the door very mindfully, and after you go walk outside, you turn around and you close the door, so that you don't allow the door slam back without any mindfulness. It is a very simple practice, but it is a very deep practice. If you can do this and you can apply it to all act of your life, to follow your act of your life from the beginning to the end, you are able to control your mind. When you open the door, you walk through and you turn around, you close the door. During that time, your mind is with the door. You learn to have a break. You learn to have a stop with whatever is running in your mind. You are fully aware of the present moment. So the same thing when you practice washing hand. You practice mindfulness of washing hand in mindfulness. Mindfulness of washing hand in washing hand. Mindfulness of the body in the body. Mindfulness of an act in an act. Fully. Many times I go to our kitchen and I see the microwave door was open, but was not closed. Then I know the brother and sister didn't practice mindfulness of the body in the body. That is mindfulness of opening and closing the microwave door, in opening and closing the microwave door. I know how well the brother and sister practice, because they are not fully aware of that act of opening and closing the microwave door. It is a simple act, but it illustrates the degree of your enlightenment. What is enlightenment? Enlightenment is when you open the microwave door, you know and you remember to close the door properly and not leave it open like that and you go away. And it's called mindfulness of opening and closing the microwave door, in opening and closing the microwave door. The other day I went to the storage room in the basement to look for the tool to help one of the sisters to install the hygiene dispenser. And I couldn't find the tool. The tool is everywhere. Was not organized in our storage room. And it demonstrates the degree of mindfulness practice, of mindfulness of the body in the body. That is mindfulness of using the tool in using the tool. Very simple. If you know the principle, then you can apply it to all situations. And when I go into the storage room, the light was on. And I don't know how many days the light has been on in that storage room. And that is a waste of electricity. And it happened many times. I go into the room and the light is on. That means we don't practice mindfulness of the body in the body. Mindfulness of turning on and off the light in turning on and off the light. You see, mindfulness practice is very simple. But we need to train ourselves. Sometimes we think that it's very simple. But no, it is very deep practice. It is the discovery of the Buddha. And if we do it wholeheartedly, diligently, then we become a Buddha. And if we can practice this concept of mindfulness in washing hands, from the beginning to the end, thoroughly, 20 seconds and 40 seconds, with full awareness, with full attention, with full appreciation, happiness and joy, we are enlightened during that moment. So we can take this opportunity of washing hands many days, many times a day, as a chance for us to become enlightened. And don't think that it is a mundane practice. We shouldn't think that we need to go into the meditation hall in order to become enlightened. Anything is an object of our meditation during the day. And many things can help us to become an enlightened version. Imagine that you are in Plumblish when you listen to this mindfulness bell. When I was in Plumblish, I listened to the church bell, and it's very interesting. There are a few churches around Ternak and Lubas-Banak, our center in Plumblish. So one church have the sound, and then after some time, another church far in the distance to have the sound. So you have a series of church bell, one after another, and the one that you hear first is a bit loud, and the one that you hear later is a bit soft and far away. So I try to design it in this bell of mindfulness. First you hear the church bell, and then some delay, and you hear a far, far away church bell. And you can notice that the next time. Xem bấm 15 phút giùm xin. I said a while ago that when we know that the outbreak is having a significant effect on our life, and we have to learn to adapt, and we have to learn to see the positive as well as the deadly effect of the virus. It is neither optimistic or pessimistic, but we have to learn to see the reality. And we have to learn to identify the positive energy, the positive conditions that are still available to us at this very moment. And to live with those positive conditions to our fullest. And then one day, if the worst situation comes to us, we don't regret that we have not lived our life fully. For example, today, the sunshine is very beautiful. Enjoy the sun deeply, and letting go of your worry, letting go of your sadness, letting go of your anxiety, your worry about concerning the job that you will not have in the next few months. How can you feed your family? How can you pay the mortgage? How to deal with life? Yes, all of that problem are still there. But at this moment, the sun is still shining. So learn to enjoy your sunshine. And take time to face the problem in a very systematic, concrete and practical way as much as possible. But do not deny yourself of the element of joy and happiness are still there. And again, it's not ignorance in the sense that we just enjoy now and we don't think about the worst outcome of the outbreak. That is not the right practice neither. That we continue to feel like as if nothing is happening, we continue to have coronavirus party, we continue to go to the bar, the restaurant, or to have a private beer party. That is not very wise neither, because we might not have the disease, but we can be a carrier, and we can cause the death of another person. We can cause the deep damage to another person by the way we behave. So we have to very aware of the situation, the dangerous situation that we are in right now. And we are all responsible. Each one of us is responsible. When we wash our hands, please do not think that we only wash our hands for ourselves. We are washing our hands for our parents, for our grandparents, for our teacher, our friends, our community. And we offer our love to the people through the simple act of washing our hands. Right now, there are many people who go out and try to help. It can be dangerous. The act of taking good care of yourself right now, and learn to do very simple things, it could help other people. According to the scientists, this when Christian Drosten, when Mr. Drosten was asked what is the difference between this coronavirus and the SARS virus that had happened in 2002, 2003, he said this virus, the particular feature of this virus is that this virus replicates, multiply itself at the throat. That is the particular characteristic of this virus, this COVID-19 disease. The virus multiplies itself at the throat. The other virus, like SARS in 2001, 2002, 2003, that virus go into the lung and multiply there. But this new coronavirus replicate itself or multiply itself at the throat. So that is very useful information, because if we learn to protect our throat, right away, the chance that the virus go deeper into the lung will be less. So one thing that we can do is that we can have salt water. We can have salt water, and we learn to how do you say, gargle your throat as often as 3 times a day or more. You gargle it so that you learn to wash your throat, so that the virus, if by chance it have come to your throat, you have the chance to minimize the chance it go deeper into the lung. So learn to gargle your throat often, minimum 3 times a day. And learn to use warm water to wash the throat. So they are advised that we can bring a thermos, and we drink warm water throughout the day to wash the virus from the throat down stomach. We gargle the throat with salt water. Thank you. We gargle the throat with salty water. That means we put salt in enough, not too salty, so that it can damage our voice cord, and not too light, so it doesn't have much effect, but moderate, salty, And then we gargle it often to cleanse our throat. And this practice, again, is the practice of love, because when you clear your throat with the virus, the chance that that virus spread out to another person will be less. In this outbreak, because the virus multiplies itself at the throat, the droplet become very dangerous. And that's the reason why we have to keep a distance 1.5 meters to 2 meters, so that the droplet will not, if we affect to carry the virus, hopefully that virus will not transmit to another person easily. Another thing is that depending on the amount of the virus that are able to bypass the throat and go down into the lung, then the symptom can be very severe or can be light, and we can be treated in time. If we are in the environment, there are high concentration of virus, and it bypass the throat, and there's a big amount of virus that go deeper into our lung, then the symptom will manifest faster and very quick, and it's difficult to control. So protecting our throat is another practice of mindfulness that we can do during this outbreak. Learn to do that, and keep your throat dry by drinking warm water as soon as your throat becomes dry, so that it doesn't cause the condition for the virus to come to develop. And learn to understand the teaching of no birth and no death. There are many practices, but today I just concentrate on the practice of understanding our reality, and some simple practice. So there are many practices that we can do to take care of ourselves. The first is physical hygiene. Physical hygiene. And that is the practice of mindfulness of the body, in the body, and try to develop a new habit of good hygiene. And then the second practice that we can do is cultivate the energy. Cultivating our strength through the practice of different exercise, nourishing and exercise, not wasting energy at exercise. Don't waste your energy, but learn to cultivate your energy. There are many exercises that can drain your energy, and that's not good. But there are energy that cultivate your energy. That there are exercise that cultivate your energy. So learn to train yourself, use some kind of energy to cultivate your immune system, to boost your immune system. And the third is the practice of meditation. And in this meditation, we learn to practice to identify the positive energy that is still available, and then Another important of meditation in this case and another meditation that is very important during this outbreak is the meditation on no birth and no death. No birth and no death. That is very important meditation that we have to learn to practice, to look deeply. And in the worst situation that we have to release this body because we are weak, our immune system is weak, and we are attacked by this virus to the point that we have to die. We have to prepare beforehand. That is another reality that we have to face. All of us will have to die. We can die during this outbreak, or we can die 10 years later. The fact is that we will die. And we should learn to open our heart to accept our death when it comes at any moment. That is very important. The Buddha said that the death comes unexpectedly, suddenly. We cannot bargain with it. Last Wednesday, we have a ceremony for one of our friends in Norway. Last June or July, we had a retreat in Norway. Our friends was the organizer for the trip. He was born in 1958. And a few weeks ago, in the morning around 11:30, during his working time, he had an heart attack, and people cannot save him, and he passed away. Suddenly. It was a big shock for the family, and it was a big shock for many of us, because he was in a very healthy condition. But he had perhaps underlying heart problem. His heart stopped. Half an hour before that, 11 o'clock, he was talking to his sister-in-law, and they arranged a dinner together. 11:30, his wife received the news that he passed away. Half an hour. Incredible. The Buddha said that comes unexpectedly. We cannot bargain with it. So don't be afraid that the worst outcome of this outbreak, that some of us have to go. We have to prepare. And I am preparing too. I told Sister Songnim that I don't know how long I will last, because I'm in the risky group, 60 years old. So I'm in the risky group. Who knows? It doesn't mean that we are pessimistic. No. The enlightened version is the one who faces reality as it is. And we have to prepare our mind. And death is only another situation for life. That's all, according to Buddhism. We have gone through this cycle of infinite birth and death. The Buddha is someone who have gone through this infinite cycle of birth and death, and he doesn't want to go into this this endless or limitless circle of birth and death again. He want to liberate our birth and death. But if you like to live very much, then if you pass this time, you will be born in some way. So don't be afraid. But learn to prepare yourself. Open your mind and accept death as well as you accept life. It doesn't mean that we want it to happen, but we try our best. But when it comes, we are free. We have to learn to see that there's no birth and no death. The Buddha said that when the conditions are sufficient, things manifest. When the conditions are not sufficient, things cease to manifest. There are people, there are doctors, there are nurses. They try to protect themselves and they try to help sick people right now. And among those people, there are people who will survive, even though they are often in touch with the disease, because they have enough condition for life. But among those doctor and nurse, there will be someone who are infected and they will pass away because the conditions are not sufficient. So learn to have this faith into this teaching, and don't be afraid to touch the sick people. Learn to open your heart and learn to go out and to help during this moment. We learn to reach out and to help the other people, not close ourselves, not to become too afraid and isolate ourselves and become paralyzed by our fear. But we need to have the courage to step out and to help. When we help the other person in the difficult situation, we learn to protect ourselves. We learn the technique that protect ourselves and learn to practice well, and we try to go out and help. And that's called a bodhisattva. There are people right now go and help old people to buy food, to support the people who cannot go to the supermarket. That's very beautiful. And a question for us as monastic, what can we do? Are we a bodhisattva ready to go out and help? If the outbreak continues to happen for the next few months, does our community, brother and sister, learn enough technique to protect yourself and to help the community when the outbreak becomes worse? There will be more sick people, there will be more death coming. Is our community ready to face this outbreak like Thầy and Sister Chan Khong have faced the war in Vietnam? Sister Chan Khong, during the war in Vietnam, go to the war zone, carry the wounded baby out of the war zone? Are we ready to step out to the society and to help the sick people and know that we might be infected and we might pass away? Are we ready to do that? People consider this outbreak as a war in itself. Thầy and Sister Chang Khong go to the Vietnam War with a lot of courage. We are his continuation. And we are Sister Chang Khong continuation. Are we ready to go out to do that? Or we just hide it? We just hide in our monastery, try to protect ourselves, and hope that the disease will not come to us. But the fact is that sooner or later, the whole population will be infected before it reaches an end point. If we cannot contain the outbreak, if the outbreak cannot contain, then sooner or later the whole population will be affected. That is something that we need to contemplate. So we need to think about the practice of no birth and no death. The practice of no birth and no death. If I go out and help another person, and by chance I got infected and I pass away, do I suffer or do I accept my death joyfully and happily? That is something for all of us to contemplate. There's no right or wrong. There's no good or bad. But it is our attitude of freedom, the attitude of joy, the attitude of courage, the attitude of facing life with all of its outcome. And that is the practice of no birth and no death. The practice of no birth and no death is learn to open our hands and to embrace what life offers to us, whether it's good things or whether it's a bad thing, whether it is the positive or negative, the optimal or the worst. We learn to face life with all of our courage, with all of our joy and happiness. And we don't need to think that after we die, we'll be no more. No. According to your vow, according to your karma, you will continue another life. And another meditation that we can do during this period is the meditation on love. And to see that we are deeply connected to the people out there. We are all together in this outbreak. We belong to the human family. And that's what my practice. Many times I contemplate the people who are suffering out there, and I send my deep love to them. Many times I chant, evoke the name of Avalokitesvara, and I pray for the universal love, the energy of great compassion, to protect the people who are in difficulty right now, the sick, the one who are on deathbed, the doctor and the nurse, the people who are still working to help to maintain our society, the farmer, the engineer, the technician, the medical health profession, the cashier at the supermarket, or the clerk at the bank. I went to the bank the other day, and the one who served me doesn't have the mask on, and that is not the practice that we do in the West. And he is very kind. He has the glove on, but not mask. And we had a very good interaction. And during the time that I cast the money, I look at him deeply, and I try to visualize how does he feel during this type of outbreak. That he have to serve people, and throughout the day, there are many people who come, and he stand very close, not 1 meter or 2 meter apart. It's only a very short distance. And for sure, they will exchange the tablet. And there are people out there who continue to help our society to go on. So my practice is to offer my energy of love, to send my love, to embrace myself with love, and to send love to the people out there. Many times during the day.